is presented by Benjamina Mia Casino. Licensed real estate professional since 2008. License number S01669991 LLC. Heading to Las Vegas? Thinking of buying, selling, or investing in real estate? From city view lofts, high-rises, lakefront villas, mountain view homes, and all types of residential properties Vegas has to offer. Follow Mia to the road of your dreams to home ownership. Call 702-281-9063 or visit www.benjaminamiacasino.com. Mia is also on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. With Mia Casino, you can be sure you get real estate with integrity. It's a lunch hour in Vegas, and we're on the dot with Dot and Mia here on PHLV Radio.
Welcome to On the Dot, right here on PHLV Radio, broadcasting and podcasting from Las Vegas. My name is Dorothy Tom, and you can call me Dot.
And I am Benjamina Casino. You can call me Mia. Welcome to On the Dot.
Hi, Mia.
Hello, Dot.
So it's the last Wednesday of
September. Do you remember?
Do you remember? There's another song, Wake Me Up When September Ends. Yeah?
And September Moon.
Oh my God. Okay. 3 September songs.
There you go. We're
right.
into our last series for September. All the tricks, every trick on the book. Right? And for today, we have the roadmap to your best self.
The roadmap to your best self. How did you come up with the title, Mia?
Because our guest has 2 books already, right? 2 books.
Okay.
He has published 2 books, and he will talk about it later. First, I would like to share a quote from his My Wish for You Today. I think he does this every day, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
On his Facebook page, he shares quotes, and this was a quote, a wish for, he has done this, he posted this back in 2018.
Okay.
May 24. So, it goes. He has written several articles for the Wellbeing Journal on getting better with age, love, courage, and his life-changing experience of climbing Mount Everest.
Yes.
Wow. So this one is from May 24, 2018. Good morning, and wishing you a beautiful and joyful new day filled with peace, love, and kindness. Begin to make friends with peace today. Begin by simply shifting your focus to what is good and true and beautiful in your life right now. You'll be happily surprised how many of your so-called problems begin to vanish when you take your attention away from fixing and putting it on the simple pleasures that already surround you every day. As it says in A Course of Miracles, the first obstacle that peace must flow across is your desire to get rid of it. Nice. May you notice and embrace all the little moments of today. And intention for today is think peace and be peace.
Be peace.
Oh,
yeah.
That's nice. So he has intentions for the day every day.
Yes.
So our guest recently moved to Palm Springs after living for 42 years in San Francisco. He believes in having a morning routine, which for him includes getting up early to meditate, write, do push-ups, and enjoy a great cup of coffee.
Yeah.
He was a contributing author for Amazon's bestseller, The Ultimate Guide to Self-Healing, Volume 2. His chapter was on the imagination and using to take steps to your best self. That's how I came up with Road to Self-Help. Yes. Douglas can be found walking in the desert of Palm Springs every morning, looking for new roads to travel and explore. Our guest, Mr. Douglas Ruark.
Ruark, yay!
Welcome.
Where's our
Hi,
applause?
thank you.
Okay, our applause is coming in a few
A round of applause.
seconds. Welcome, Mr.
Welcome.
Douglas Ruark.
Thank you.
What is the perfect way of pronouncing your last name? Because
Ruark.
Ruark.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Welcome to the show, and
Welcome.
you are being heard by the Filipino American community, mainly in Las Vegas. But since we are a podcast, and we can be heard through Alexa, what else? Mia, help me out. Spotify,
YouTube and
So yes, it's an on-demand. So
they can-
yes, you have a
and through
wide audience.
PHLV, the PHLV app,
The
which they can download through the
The Google Play.
Google Play and iPhone
All these things. I don't
brain
know.
fog.
All right. So, getting better with age is one of the phrases I heard from Douglas Mia that really struck me, and it became my go-to whenever I felt, these things like brain fog. Or like my knees creaking, or I couldn't bend, or I tend to forget someone's name. So I say, I'm getting better with age. And then I remember, and then I feel better. So, Douglas, tell us a little bit about yourself, like how you, I don't know. How do we begin?
How do we begin? I am, first of all, I did just move here from San Francisco to Palm Springs. And I I've been thinking about a lot about getting better with age because every day we're aging.
Yes.
And it's when I think about it, we always think about getting better with age is about the food we eat, how much rest we're getting, our exercise, but they fall down the list on the things that keep us our longevity. And the number one thing is that on there is how we connect with ourselves and how we connect with each other. And that's the number one thing on the list when it comes to longevity and living a long life. On there also is about getting your flu shot and all that kind of thing in the top 10. But the number one thing is our connection to ourselves and our connection with each other as a community.
Oh, there you go.
And,
Yeah.
Dot, you know me, I love community. I love connections. And I personally feel like I'm at the best place in my life as I get older.
Are you comfortable telling the public your age? Me, I am very comfortable telling people.
Yeah, I'm very comfortable. I'm 66.
You there, you go. He's 66.
I'm 66 years old, and I do have a morning routine. I get up every day. I exercise. I go for long walks. I write because I think writing is not therapy, but it's therapeutic.
Yes.
And so I write every day. I have been on my Wish for You today since 2014, every day.
2014 Mia. So this is like 7 years old.
Oh, now
7.
2018.
Yeah, I mean
Yes.
that one came out in 2018, but
Oh.
it started in 2014.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
It started in 2014. And, we sometimes look at what we do on social media and the things we do to see how many likes we're going to get, if people are going to react to it and that kind of thing. But for me, it's part of my life. It's what I have to do every day. It's what fills me up.
yes.
And on top of that, when someone says, though, I was thinking the same things, and you've put it in words for me, and it makes me feel like I'm not alone. That's a motivation as well.
Yes, the motivation, the connection is a
The
motivation.
connection.
Yes.
And the group is large, My Wish for You Today. There's like 20,000 followers on there.
Oh.
And, but, you know, I'm looking at different things, you know, in the Getting Better with Age. And Dot, you're part of it, our Coffee Talk with Douglas group that came together during the pandemic, and why that happened and what's come out of that and where we're going with it. And as one of the members said today, we're getting ready to take another fork in the road here. And
Yes, that is so true.
yeah, so that's just a little bit about who I am.
Oh, that's a lot bit, right? You know, Mia and our friends, meeting Douglas online. You know, we met last, when did we meet
July.
in person?
In July.
In July. So meeting Douglas on online, Mia, is amazing. You know, like we meet so many people online. There seems to be a purpose in the meeting. You felt that way,
Right.
Mia? Have you met someone online that feels for you like something's going on here, something important is coming up? Have you?
Not online, but personally.
Personally,
Yeah,
okay.
most of the time, yes. I think you meet each person, you know, because of a reason.
Yes.
There's no chance. Yeah.
Yes. So meeting him led me to, well, that one, My Wish for You Today. We met first in Hay House group summit. Then I followed him, and he has this My Wish for You Today. Then he was the one who influenced me to take up certification in life coaching, and I finished that one. Thanks to him, yay! Let me see. Let me flash my heart here. Yay! There's
Yay.
a heart.
Because of life coaching, we thought of this.
Yes,
this
and
radio
because of that. So
program.
there's a ripple effect.
Yeah.
It isn't just a domino effect,
Right.
but really like a ripple effect here. And aside from that, he set up what he said earlier, the coffee talk with Douglas. And from that, we came up with this book. And along the way, Douglas told us about, but before that, oh my God, I'm just so mixed up, so many things, ongoing. He also co-wrote this one, The Ultimate Guide to Self-Healing, Volume 2. And because of this, he said, Dot, you should also write a book. You should contribute to this. So I did. Like everything this guy says, I said, yeah, I'll do that. So he said, that's
Volume
where
4.
I contributed.
Oh, yes, I remember.
And he invited me to join Coffee Talk with Douglas, and I joined. And then he said, let's write a book. And there, so now, all right, Douglas, a man of many talents and multiple skills and dreams that come true, like climbing Mount Everest. So the roadmap to your best self. So tell us a little bit about that experience with Mount Everest. I mean, who does that?
Oh.
And what age were you when you did that?
I did it when I was 59.
Wow.
Yeah.
And everyone that was with me that climbed were 20 years younger. And I walked up the mountain without the walking sticks. I didn't need them. I just went up. And I remember one of the guys who was with us says, I don't know how you do it. This is such a struggle for me. And I was like, that's because you can't get out of your mind how hard you think it is. But I'm not thinking that way. And the way I think is I'm going to reach that summit up there, and it's going to be the most spectacular thing that I've ever seen in my life. So I used my imagination to get me up that mountain.
Yeah.
And I'd reached that summit, and it was the most amazing thing I'd ever seen in my life, the views. And that kept motivating me to take the next step, and the next step. And that's how I went up the mountain.
It's just a mountain, Mia. It's just Mount Everest, just the mount. Is
Yeah.
it?
Well, what
Yeah,
motivated?
it's amazing.
Yeah, what motivated me to even consider doing it, because I was like, initially I said no, but what motivated me to do it was we also were going to adopt a school of young school kids, and we were going to do some outreach work. So I did outreach work also in Nepal. And before we went, my group and I did fundraisers, and we had all these sponsors, and we were able to take every kid in the school new school supplies. We took supplies for the school. We were we put in a new flooring, a new irrigation system. So I went to do outreach as well.
So it's more than just the climb of
Yes.
the mountain itself, but also elevating the lives of children in
children.
Nepal. Correct?
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Yes. And from that experience, you wrote your chapter in the Ultimate Guide to Self-Healing.
Plus, I had
which-
written for the Wellbeing Journal also.
Okay, yes.
I had written some articles for them about climbing Mount Everest and about love and courage and all of that. And then what came from that was the Ultimate Guide to Self-Healing. And that was, you talk about the domino effect, that came from Jeanette in Coffee Talk. So
What about that? She invited you, right?
she invited me. I mean, I read where she was going to write a chapter of her own, because she is a pancreatic cancer survivor, and she's thriving, and she was going to write about that. And I thought to myself, I was like, I think that would be fun to do, write a chapter. And then all your self-talk starts to kick in. And then, but I decided to let it be there and still write the chapter. And that's when one morning, I was doing a little meditation with my friend Buddy. And in that meditation, I didn't know what I was going to write on. And during that 5-minute meditation, it came to me in that meditation that I was going to write on the imagination. It was going to be about climbing Mount Everest. And the whole story came to me. And I sat down the next day and I wrote the whole chapter.
Yeah, in just a day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. So that's also surprising for me to see imagination as a guide to as a self-healing. Have you ever
Guide.
thought of that, Mia? Like using your imagination to heal yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah, you use your imagination, right? You visualize.
I've always thought that, you heal yourself. Everything it's all in the mind.
Ah,
Yeah,
yes,
I agree with you, Mia.
yes.
I agree.
And so,
And
yeah.
it always begins in the mind.
Yeah.
And you just have to always be conscious of what your mind is coming up with and what you're thinking and all of that kind of thing. But I believe everything that happens in the world begins in your mind, in someone's mind. This radio talk show was someone's idea that began in their mind.
Her mind came from Mia. Yes.
Yes.
So you're talking about the mind talking, So we have a monkey mind. How many thoughts, thousands of thoughts we have a day, right? So
Yes.
how did one of the things you told me and many of us, Douglas, is to do not talk yourself out of it, or something like you cautioned us from engaging with the negative self-talk. So what's your trick about that?
But we do. We do engage with that negative self-talk at times. That talk is already there. But here in Palm Springs, I met a homeless man the other day named Mario. And we were talking about thoughts, because here in the desert, you can't get away from them because there's no other noise.
Oh, yeah.
And when you're out
So
walking,
true.
there's no noise at all. So all you do is hear your thoughts. And he reminded me that the thoughts are already going to be always going to be there, and it's up to me if I choose to believe them or not. But also lately, it's like those thoughts may be there, but there's something bigger than ourselves that's reeling us in, that's reminding us of who we truly are, which all of us are amazing. Every one of us is amazing.
Yes.
And that something bigger than ourselves, and people can call it whatever they choose, reels us in to say, no, this is who you really are. And if you just walk beside me, and it can be what you call God, or what you call the divine, or what you call spirit, or what you call your soul, or your internal wisdom, you eventually, not in a very short period of time, that voice becomes the bigger voice.
Yes, isn't that amazing? Have you listened to your voice lately, Mia? You know, the voice telling you of how wonderful and amazing you are?
You know, growing up, I've always looked at the brighter side of things.
Ah, yeah.
So, if I'm faced with a problem, I don't look at the negative always. I always look at the positive side of things.
Yes, yes.
So, yeah.
That's,
So you've always used your voice. Is it okay if I ask a
Yeah,
question?
sure.
Oh, yes, of
Okay.
course.
So Mia, you've always paid attention to your inner voice.
Yes.
And so you know something, and I think that's wonderful, and it's there for each one of us. But I don't know if you agree with that. The voice of the ego is much louder, and you have to listen, really, really listen, because our ego voice is so powerful.
Yeah.
But the voice inside of us is softer.
Soft and gentle.
It's filled with wisdom.
Yeah.
Sometimes it can be forceful because you need it.
Yes. Listen.
And, right? Yeah.
Right.
So, but it's something that people have to learn to use, because it's hard to hear it at times.
When the ego is very loud, right?
Very
When
loud.
The monkey mind is so loud. And one of I feel that of the many things that your inner guidance has been telling you all these years, well, especially this pandemic times, is putting together this group of people, your friends, your online friends, and perhaps your friends in real life, and you put them together. And would you like to tell us about that, and how maybe our viewers can also create their own groups?
Yes. It's back when the pandemic started, initially I just thought, wouldn't it be wonderful to bring a few people together where we could have a place just to talk about how we were keeping ourselves motivated and inspired. I didn't want to talk about the pandemic. I didn't want that to be part of the conversation, but just how we were keeping ourselves motivated and inspired. And so I put it out on Facebook that I was going to put a group together called Coffee Talk with Douglas. And if anyone wanted to stop by on a Wednesday morning at 10 o'clock, they could. Well, all of these people came. And they came from Canada, and they came from Belgium, and they came from the UK, and all across the US, and they just came.
Yeah.
And I thought it would be for a short period of time. Back then, we thought it would be for a short period of time, the pandemic. But it went on and on to where I finally saw it as a place where we could come together, and we did meditations. We've done meditations. We've done creative writing classes. We've had cooking classes and rose garden tours and mini concerts and all kinds of things. And it's a group that Dot is part of that has become a place where everybody just trusts each other.
Yes.
And so we talk about everything, everything. And so then one day I'm like, you've all had your own individual experiences over the past year would you be interested in writing a chapter for a book about your experience of being part of this group? And 19 said yes.
Yes.
And so I learned how to self-publish a book.
There you go.
With the help of Jeanette on
Jeanette
Amazon.
Stewart, yes.
I self-published this book. It was released as #1 in personal transformation and spirituality in both the United States and Canada. I took that picture on my morning walk in San Francisco of that rose.
Yes.
I designed the book jacket cover and everything.
You see, getting better with age.
Yes.
Getting wiser, getting more
better,
skill.
getting wiser.
Yes, getting
And
more fun.
Yeah, and so now we're looking at putting this on another publishing house. We're looking at do we want to write another book? We're leading off into a conversation pretty soon that a lot of people don't like to go down about dying and death, and we're going to be talking about that. And I said this morning it's probably going to be a mini series. So anyway, we have a lot going on in Coffee Talk, and it continues, and it's a very powerful and empowering place. And for most of the feedback I've gotten from people that have read the book, they're like, we knew this was really big, but we didn't know it was this big. And people are like, it's an easy book to read, but it's not an easy book to put down.
Okay. Douglas, it just occurred to me, would you be okay to read a portion of that book, maybe a line, a paragraph from Coffee Talk, if you
Yes.
feel like it, towards the end of our show, because we're going to take a short break right about now. So then maybe towards the end of the second half of this show, we'll listen to either from Coffee Talk with Douglas, the book, or from the other book that you have. So it's your choice, yes. So Yes. Okay. So don't go away, our friends. I know you're not going away. Stay where you are, enjoy your lunch, and we'll be right back.
Heading to Las Vegas? Thinking of buying, selling, or investing in real estate? From City View Lofts, high rises, lakefront villas, mountain view homes, and all types of residential properties Vegas has to offer. Follow Mia to the road of your dreams to home ownership. Call 702-281-9063 or visit www.benjaminamiacasino.com. Mia is also on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. With Mia Casino, you can be sure you get real estate with integrity.
Just like a friend from back home.
This is your Filipino radio experience in Las Vegas. PHLV Radio.
PHLV Radio.
On the Dot is presented by Benjamina Mia Casino. Licensed real estate professional since 2008. License number S01669991 LLC.
Hello again. We are back at On the Dot. This is also brought to you in partnership with the University of the Philippines Alumni Association in Nevada. And we are going to have a grand reunion this coming October 21st, on October 22nd to the 24th. And it's going to be virtual. And this is the platform is UPAAAGRC 2021 V Fairs at 2021.vfairs.com. So the registration for us will only be $30, but we get to see everything on demand after that for the next 30 days. So if you want to be a sponsor or an exhibitor, we still have 2 booths.
Two more
right?
booths left.
2 more,
Yes.
yes.
So it's very, very affordable.
It is, and in these exhibitors booths, you can showcase your products, your services, whatever, your advocacies, and you have unlimited. Limited perhaps, but how many maximum number of frames, Mia? 8.
Yes, and then you can upload your videos, your links, your forms, and you can promote your business
Yes.
through this
True.
exhibitor's booth.
Yes. And whatever we gain from this 21st grand reunion, but the first ever virtual grand reunion of all alumni from all over the world, we have people coming from Australia. Whatever we gain from this, we use to support our scholars in the Philippines. So, yes, that's our plugging.
October
Arise.
22 to the 24th.
Yes, 22nd. Yes, correct. And our theme is Arise, Pagbangon at Parangal.
Yes.
All right. And now back to our show. And this is also part of the Arise, right? It's somehow connected because it's the roadmap to your best self.
Correct.
Yes, so we are
Nowhere to go but up.
nowhere to go but up.
Arise.
Yes. All right. To our better selves. And our guest, Mia, tell our audience who our guest is.
Mr. Douglas Ruark.
Ruark. An author, a writer, not just an author of a book, but also of his My Wish for You Today, and also the other one. Is it the magazine, the one that you mentioned earlier, Douglas? The Well-Being?
The
Facebook.
Well-Being Journal.
Yes. Oh, it's a journal.
It's a
Correct.
journal. It's out of Jersey in the UK.
All right.
And it's called the Well-Being Journal, and it's a huge journal of wellness that's put out every month to all the people of Jersey.
Amazing. So earlier, Douglas was telling us about his journey to Mount Everest. That's a rise, part of the rising up, nowhere to go but up. And he also talked to us about the book that came out of the group which he formed among his friends. Where these friends are now like family to us, Mia. We're very intimate in the sharing of our hearts and minds in this group. So the name of the book is Coffee Talk with Douglas, and perhaps would you like to read a portion of that, Douglas?
How about if I read the welcome to everyone
Very good. All right.
as if they've just picked up the book themselves, okay?
Yes. All right. Okay,
So
go
let me
ahead.
read. So, welcome. I love when I received a notification of a memory on Facebook. I received one recently reminding me that on March 19th, 2020, I posted a message letting everyone know that on Wednesday, March 25th at 10 a.m., I would be hosting a Zoom get-together called Coffee Talk with Douglas. At the time, I thought it would be an opportunity to come together for a few weeks at the most, to connect and talk about what we were doing to keep ourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually motivated, and moving forward during the time when everyone was being asked to stay at home because of COVID-19. People came together from around the world. Friendships blossomed and trusts developed. And to my surprise, here we are over a year later, and we're still getting together every Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. We always start off each coffee talk with a request for prayers, and then a minute of silence or more in prayer for each other, our families and friends, and the world. We have witnessed many miracles through our prayers. I then offer a song to get us going. The song choices have included These Boots Are Made for Walking by Nancy Sinatra, Choir by Guy Sebastian, Return to Love by Andrea Bocelli and Ellie Goulding, Can't Stop the Feeling by Justin Timberlake, and many more. On page 6 in Coffee Talk, you can enjoy Douglas's top 20. During our time at Coffee Talk, we've participated in soothing sound bath meditations, a beautiful rose garden tour, an interpretive writing class, a one-pot pasta cooking show, finding your guardian angel meditation, an aloha meditation, mini concerts, poetry, book reading, and a 30-day heart challenge. And we've always had lots and lots of props, and they all come from Dot. We picked a word for the year, nicknames for ourselves, and my nickname is Little Doogie. Dot, what is your nickname?
I was a brand new grandma.
Oh, right, because at the time you had
Yes.
just had a new grandson.
Yes.
And now we just call Dot.
Dot.
Dot. And we had many conversations about trees, rocks, acorns, starfish, and flowers, and so much more that you will read about soon. At the end of our time together each week, we always have a special send-off with into the new week with Penny. We dedicated this book to her, and who you'll get to know a little better in chapter 19. Coffee Talk has been and continues to be an amazing adventure. We've had lots of laughter and tears, but most of all, we formed a deep connection like the nurturing roots of a tree and an unbinding trust with each other that's hard to put into words. Simply said, we've been there for each other. We talk about hope quite a bit, and that all of us and those all over the world will come out of this pandemic with a deeper sense of compassion and love for each other. We believe we are. So please get comfortable in your favorite chair, sit back and relax, because you're about to get to know some really amazing friends. Some of them first-time authors, and some of their pets as well. We always have pets come to Coffee Talk. And as they tell their wonderful stories of our time together at Coffee Talk, I have been richly blessed, and I know you will be as well. Thank you for being here with all of us. Love, Douglas.
There you go. Applause. That's it, you know. That's how it was, Mia. Do you have any question, Mia?
No,
Comment?
it sums it up.
What's that?
It sums it up, the whole book.
Yeah.
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 You would love, I think you and Douglas would have the same mind about music because
Yeah, the
he's-
first song.
These books-
Had me at the first song.
That was, and I surprised everyone with that first song. No
Yeah.
one knew that I was going to play music. And it was Nancy Sinatra. It was her 80th birthday.
Oh.
And I thought, let's honor Nancy Sinatra on her 80th birthday by playing her number one hit, These Boots Are Made for Walking.
Yeah.
And after that, we have that started the whole music, and now we have it every week and have for months.
Yeah.
You know, Douglas, I surprised my friends by hiking on my red cowboy boots.
Hiking in your red cowboy boots. Okay.
Where did
Drove
you
my
hike?
friends crazy.
Where did you hike, Mia?
The horseshoe band.
We're going to the horseshoe bend
Because
next
I knew
month.
there was going to be pictorials.
We're going there on the 16th of
Yeah.
this coming month.
And
The horseshoe-
I forgot what it was a very picturesque hike, so I knew it was going to be a picture day. So
yeah.
I had to wear my red cowboy boots.
These red cowboy boots are made for photo shoots.
And then I
For a
had
photo shoot.
and then my posting had these boots were made for walking.
Oh, there you go. Yes. So, Douglas, back to the book. What challenges did you meet that made you feel sort of anxious or a little bit afraid, if we're going to use that word, or sort of, this is a new realm, it's an unknown world? What came up for you that you eventually overcame because of the publication of the book?
You mean putting it all together?
Yes, like were you afraid of something? Were you
Well, I'll
scared
tell
of
you
it?
the truth about me. I'm always, because of the way I grew up, my mind will go to immediately, I can't do this because I don't know how to do it.
Okay.
That's where my mind goes initially. But then I'm like, but we'll figure this out. And I remember getting the first chapters from everyone, and I downloaded in the book online at Amazon, and it did not work. And I was like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? And so I decided what I did, I just walked away from it. And in my walk away from it, a thought came in my mind about, oh, let me go back and try this. And I went back to it and it worked. So I've learned I think what's come out of this is we all have an initial reaction to something, an initial fear about being seen or being heard, or do I have something that's really important to say? But if you can step away from that, as I was saying earlier, there's a bigger voice out there, call it whatever you may, that's saying, you know what, you can do this. You have something to say. What you bring to the table is valuable. You always have a place at the table. And so and then it got to where when the book was done, I was like, well, that was easy.
Yes, that
And
was easy.
so then I'm like, okay, well, maybe I'll just write another one. That was easy. Maybe I'll do another one. And so, it's learning to walk away from things when there's these mixed messages there, and allowing yourself to come back to it, because you will if it's important to you. You will.
Yeah.
And I do. So that's, when I first wrote that chapter in the Ultimate Guide, my initial reaction is like, who do you think you are? Because people that were involved with the book were doctors and poet laureates and all of these people. And I'm like, who do you think you are? But then I'm like, I have something to say, and it's going to be different than what anybody else is going to say. And I'm just going to take my fears with me.
Take my fears with me.
I'm just going to take them with me.
Yes.
And I remember Jeanette saying, I felt, and I always tell when I'm nervous about something because I feel like I'm going to throw up.
Yeah.
I get really nauseous. And it's wonderful to have friends around you that are not afraid to speak the truth. And we talked about that in Coffee Talk this morning. And Jeanette said to me, well, why don't you go in the bathroom and throw up and come back and let's get going. So you got to
That's a
have those
good tip.
people around. You got to have those people around you that want to speak the truth. And I think it's even more important right now. I think we're in a very big period of, I could go on and on and on, Dot. You know this.
Oh, yeah.
I think we're in a very big period of growth right now, and learning about who we are and the way we're to treat each other and our earth and all of that kind of thing. And I think it's an opportunity for each of us now to just really have a few people around us that's willing to be, I call them our truth tellers.
Our truth tellers.
Our truth
That's
tellers.
a good topic, Mia.
Yeah.
Yeah, our truth tellers who will tell us our truth, even though it may sting and you may need to put a Band-Aid on it, that they're willing to be your truth teller.
Oh, this is so amazing, Mia. Because what's our topic? Our theme for next month
Right,
is
because our theme for next month is about spirituality.
yes.
And
Yes.
our theme is on board the soul train.
Oh yeah, there you
Yes.
go. And what's interesting about what you said, Douglas, is if you have something to say, there will you just got to say that. You just have to say it, and that's one of the things that made me double think about our program, Mia, on the dot. And I am saying this on air because in my mind is who's listening. I mean, what is the value for the Filipino community if maybe a handful would listen, 6 people. But then I realized that, hey, if only at least one person gets value from the positive things that we're saying, then that one person is good enough. That, it doesn't have to be the entire universe, right? Mia, that person could represent the exact universe that needs to listen to this truth, like what
Yeah.
you're saying, Douglas, right? Did you feel that sort of self-doubt perhaps when the books started coming up, and who's gonna read, who will buy?
Yes, absolutely. But you believe in you have to believe in something bigger than yourself. You have to believe there's something bigger there than yourself, and that what you have to say has value, because no matter what we go through, other people are going through it as well. And you may be able to provide them some words or some inspiration to have them look at it a little bit different. And I'm very big on words. I think words are healing. And when I think about, I get people all the time said, oh, I wish I could write like you. That's not what this is about, though. It's about any experience that you're having in life. And it can be a soul-searching experience. It can be what you're going to talk about, these soul-searching experiences that lots of us are on right now. It can be a wonderful experience. It can be a wow moment that we talk about all the time because we have these wow moments. Put those thoughts down on a piece of paper. And they don't have to look like a paragraph or a book. They can be by bullet points, but you have something to say. You have something to offer. Always. Always. And I think you're going to find out next month as you begin your soul spiritual topic for the
Spirituality,
month,
yes.
that it is going to be a big one for you, because every person I know is having a soul experience right now.
There you go, Mia. Does it give you like angel bumps, goosebumps?
Oh, always. All our topics seems to have a like a divine providence of sorts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even
Always.
our guests.
Yes, our guests always come on board with ease, joy, and it's very smooth how we select our topics and our
Right.
guests, Douglas. So, and even I'm telling our viewers and our listeners that that's how easy it has been for us.
The topics, the guests, everything.
Yes,
The flow.
yes, the flow as well. So, Douglas, coming up for you in the next year, we are barely like 3 months to go before next year, right?
Wow.
Do you see another book, or maybe 2 more books, or 3 books?
Well, I do see a little series coming eventually around my Wish for You Today writings.
Good. You have
And
a lot
I
of
like
followers.
to think of one coming out. I like to think of our life as seasons,
Okay.
and beginning with spring and summer, fall and winter. And our lives fit in there somewhere as well with our age. And so I envision maybe the first book coming in spring. That's the beginning. That's when the leaves are going to start opening back up and everything is going to be budding. And to offer maybe 30 or 60 little writings to help people, navigate through that time, and then have another one to come. But something, Dot, I think what's happening down here, I've started, my walking
You're
in the
walking.
desert here. And last week I walked 75 miles.
Mia, he walks 75 miles, Mia.
I walked 75 miles last week. And in those 75 miles, I've met Mario, who I believe he's homeless, but I believe he's an angel living on the streets.
Oh.
I have looked at things like so many things. And I just think that first of all, I thought walking was about exercise, and it is. But now it's become about finding myself.
Finding yourself.
And I don't know where it's going to go, but my walking, I'm finding me too.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Do you love the person that you're finding, Douglas? Do you love the me that you have found? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm finding me. I don't know where it's going to go, but it's like every day I have a little book, and I just fill pages of it. Sometimes 3 and 4 pages a day of like a thought will come.
You take your book with you when you walk?
No, but I do it when I get home.
Okay.
You want me to get my book and read a little something before
why
we
not?
go?
You want that, Mia?
Yes, please.
Is that okay?
Yeah,
Of
yeah,
course,
yes,
of
yes.
course.
Go and get your book, because this is every trick in the book, right?
Yes.
This is the
it's every-
roadmap to
It's
your
every
best
trick
self.
in the book. And so, and I'm not, and down here, when you hear your own voice, you can't get away from your own voice in the desert because there's nothing else there. And sometimes everything is not the nicest. So
we live in the desert.
so the other day I was walking, and this is what I heard.
Okay, go.
Why don't you just take my hand and let's do this together one day at a time? And I don't know whose hand I'm taking, but that's what I heard. At a time, and get as much as we can out of each day and enjoy everything we can along the way. When you forget and let go of my hand, I'll be here and we'll start from there. I won't have any judgment about you why you let go. We'll just start walking again, hand in hand.
Oh, you see that?
So
yeah.
I don't know. That's what sometimes you're like, who are you even talking to, or who is that? And
Who are you
you
talking
know
to,
what I mean?
Douglas?
And we can call it all kinds of things, but I tend to think it's just our higher self talking to who we really are.
Oh, love that. Love that.
Yeah. Okay. But that's a little bit. And so I just write everything down when I come home, and where it's going to go, I don't know.
Okay. So my wish for you today will be will come out in seasons, so to speak.
It'll come out in seasons, and there'll be 4 of them. It'll be a little series, and probably starting with spring. And some of the bigger messages from my wish for you today, I mean, they're all there. I have them. So I'll just pull some big ones. And, in my mind, too, I have a little Doogie series about a little kid growing up, and that's there, too. And having that be maybe a series of 5, and some of little Doogie's friends, maybe like little Penny and little Jeanette and, that kind of thing. So who knows where that'll go as well. But there's definitely more to come. But, there in the desert, I'm in Palm Springs, and I'm looking for a job, and that's my priority right now. But I know what I'm doing here is not just about the job. There's a bigger purpose in me being here, and I'm just going to follow that along.
There you go. The roadmap to your best
The
self.
roadmap. Yep, I love that. The roadmap to your
best self.
Stepping up to your best self.
There you go. So Mia, what do you think of that? Huh?
Very nice.
How did you find that particular quote, Mia? I mean, what was about it that made you pick that one out of the thousands of postings of my wish for you today?
I don't know. It just struck me.
Oh,
The BPs.
The BPs?
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
The quote.
Oh,
The
okay.
last sentence.
Oh, could you say that? Could you read that again and how that impacted you?
The intention for today: think peace and be peace.
Oh, be peace.
Yes.
All right. Think peace.
The intention for the day.
Be
Yeah,
peace.
and then the roadmap is because we're talking about books.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I came up with the roadmap to the best self.
Mm-hmm. And we have an author, and we have
Yes.
a person who followed the roadmap to Mount Everest, and he's walking on his roadmap to his best self and taking everyone with him, not just holding one person's hand or the hand of the divine, but walking with all of us who would care to walk with him. That's
And
the
guide to self-healing.
yes,
Yeah.
self-healing.
And as we talked about today, Dot, you know, when you create these communities, when you create these connections, and they're really solid, you've got an army of people. You've got people holding your hand all the time, whether they're with you or not.
Sounds
And
like yeah.
Yeah, you have all these people that really want the best for you. And I'll tell you, this think peace and be peace, you have to work at it. You really have to work at it because life is coming at us and it's not the prettiest thing in the world sometimes. When the minute you go, sometimes people aren't the nicest. Let me just say that. And we live in that kind of world. So you've got to have that army around you, and you get that through your connections. And those connections are what's going to have you living your best life and getting better with age.
Oh, see? You see?
Yes, and it's a constant journey, as Douglas
It's
said.
a constant journey,
Yeah.
yes.
It
He's
is.
still
Yeah.
trying to find himself.
Yes.
Yep.
And the impact for us as well, for our listeners who are in that age bracket. I'm just shifting a little. We have a few minutes to go. Shifting a little. Like our audience, perhaps in the age bracket of 50s up, the different brackets there, when we are, shall we say, discouraged by our lack of exposure to or experience with technological gadgets. Here's an example. This our guest for today is an example of someone who just forged through. What is Amazon? How do you click this one? How do you do this or do that? And I find that very empowering for us. For me, I'm speaking for myself. And I'm not going to be shy about saying my age. I'm 56. Yay!
Yay.
To just, it's the world of the unknown. Let's do it. Yeah? All right. Let's see what Zoom means. What is a Zoom thing? All these things.
And asking for help from friends.
Asking for help.
That's a hard thing for a lot of us, asking for help. That's a really hard thing. And even walking into a job interview, dropping off a resume is a hard thing, like for me, because you're putting yourself out there and ask for help. We're very good at giving help.
Yes.
And but when we're not so good at asking for it. And we have to remember that receiving is just as important as the giving. And there's people out there that really want you to thrive and be successful. And sometimes we just don't know. And asking for help is really, really important.
Oh, see? Yeah.
Yes.
That is so beautiful. But I'm sure you have a message because it's now 12:59 if I'm correct, if I'm reading that correctly.
Yeah.
And see, we're about to end our show. What would be your
Time
best
flies.
your best your words for our listeners and viewers?
I think it's important now more than ever. And I feel like the world is shifting a bit where we're really have been forced to kind of look at our own power within, to know ourselves and to know what we can do. And I think the message that I would leave everyone is stop looking outside of ourselves so much for answers, and be like Mia, who's done it all her life. Look more within, because those answers are there, and they may not be exactly what you think they're going to be, but they are going to take you places that you've never imagined for yourself. I bet if you asked Mia today, she would say that she's gone places that she really never imagined for herself from listening to that voice within.
There. That's it, Mia. Listening to the voice within.
Yeah.
And so ends our show for today. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you,
Douglas, for your
Thank
wisdom, for the joy that you're imparting, the inspiration that you're giving everyone you meet. And we're just walking the airlines right now.
We're all just, that it brings up that quote. We're all just, remember, it's by Rumi. We're all just walking each other home.
Yes. So walking each other home. There.
We're just walking each other home.
And home is where our hearts is. Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So much thanks, love and gratitude to you, Douglas. Do we
Thank
have
you.
questions from our friends? I want to acknowledge Stacy. She's watching, and Kuya Rex Ricarte. He's watching from Facebook Live, and all our other friends over at Coffee Talk with Douglas. Thank you so much for staying with us this whole hour. And Mia, take us away.
So I got this quote also from Douglas's Facebook page from H.G. Wells. We must not allow the clock and the calendar to blind us to the fact that each moment of life is a miracle and mystery. Thank you, Douglas.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a blessed day.
See you next
Bye,
week
everyone.
on the dot.
Mwah.
Heading to Las Vegas? Thinking of buying, selling, or investing in real estate? From city view lofts, high rises, lakefront villas, mountain view homes, and all types of residential properties Vegas has to offer. Follow Mia to the road of your dreams to home ownership. Call 702-281-9063 or visit www.benjaminamiacasino.com. Mia is also on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. With Mia Casino, you can be sure you get real estate with integrity.
Just like a friend from back home.
This is your Filipino radio experience in Las Vegas. PHLV Radio.